Signal over noise. Signal over noise, Emmanuel, Rudolf.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. Which one's a signal? Which one's a noise? Which one do we follow and which one do we ignore? We often make the mistake because they sound similar. But when you hear noise, it alerts you. But when you hear a fire alarm, you know exactly what to do. Say, for instance, you're in a building or an office. You evacuate the premises, you rush to the fire assembling point, and here, ladies and gentlemen, my speech begins. We stand with our heads high, our shoulders relaxed, with big smiles on our faces, hiding our uncertainties because we make the right decisions. I say, lo and behold, a man, lo and behold, a woman of principles. When you hear the word principle, what comes to mind? If I were to ask you, what would you say? Are they the things that we live by, the things that don't change, or the things that make us who we are? How many times have I been told that a man without principles is like a house built without a foundation? I always thought that it's very poetic. However, we live in a world where principles are an old man's habit, a world where dishing out an abundance of information is ordinary, and where being normal is the new bizarre. Noise, I say, because if a mother doesn't know anything and teaches her child everything she knows, then what does the child know? Sometimes we know too much, yet not enough. We make the right decisions only to regret them later on. Our consciences are disturbing us. They're telling us you're wrong, but we're intelligent. We can't be wrong. Signal over noise, ladies and gentlemen. Laws and principles over emotions and desires. We're often clouded by news that we forget what ought to be done. I like to think in life that everything requires a balance. Where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. And by abuse, I mean abnormal use, because 99% of the time, we walk around in our bad decisions, constantly reassuring ourselves that if it feels right, then it must be right. But what if we're wrong this time? Intuition can be an hindrance. The greats of this world say that discipline beats motivation, and success derives from being comfortable doing things we're not comfortable doing. The outliers, wow, they clearly take it in a whole other direction. They tell you to go against your instincts, go against everything you know, go against what you thought was right, because that's the only way to make a difference. Hmm, who shall we believe? Here's a little story. Sometimes when I was in class and when my attention would fade away, yes, I'm human, my attention would fade away. I would silently observe my peers, and it was fascinating because we had a very diverse group. We have a bit of salt, pepper, and spices, basically whatever you need to make a wonderful meal. Like in every working environment, you had the hard workers, you had the lazy ones, and you had those that were not really short, but they're there. Believe me, I call it diversity. I am unbiased because the beauty of life is that we never know. These people we're not really sure about might be the next Bill Gates or Nelson Mandela. Signal over noise, ladies and gentlemen. My point here is that we should be more sensitive and observant because only time will reveal that what glittered was not gold. That beautiful beginning has finally come to an ugly end. What went up has finally come down, and I am sure that you know the ending better than I do. There are days that a child beats the drums and the elders dance. I could learn from you. You could learn from me. Ultimately, we could learn from each other. However, today, all I'm doing is sharing guidelines. Think of it as you coming on a journey with me to see a little further than our eyes can see, because sometimes seeing should not be believing, and hearing can be counterintuitive. Our epistemology of perception can confuse us, and that leads to an illusory effect. Unfortunately, yes, life has happened. Unfortunately, we've been seeing false information repeat itself over and over again, that at the end, we start believing that it's the truth. The truth, what a big word. So, what's the truth? The real question is, what do you think? My fellow Toastmasters, only you have the answers. Mr. Toastmaster.